Over here. We'll see if this stream actually legitimately starts. I'm watching Restream sending out its data. You guys, let me know in chat. Actually, I got to share the new link because I can't even keep the same link. So anyone who was watching a moment ago saw that I suddenly went off the air because OBS crashed. And it had a seg fault, and I couldn't get it going again. And then I rebooted my computer, and then for whatever reason, I did it like a test recording with OBS, and the audio just came through as fuzz. Over and over again, it was coming through as fuzz. And I finally, I think, have it working again. You guys will have to let me know. I'm going to put the new link in Discord here. New stream link. I guess I'll put it down here. New stream link. Okay, so Aknakos is saying, we're back, but the video and audio is way out of sync. I don't know what to do about that. You know, I usually do like tons and tons of tests before we start, and it takes time getting back set up, and I can't do the thing I usually do when things don't work, which is to just kill OBS and start over again. I'm gonna try disabling the webcam and re-enabling it. Are we in sync now? No. Jeez. Okay. Next thing, we'll try unplugging the webcam and plugging it back in again. Kill everything? Or am I still here? Alright, so the webcam looks to be frozen. This is tech support. This is live streaming tech support, not live streaming game dev anymore. Okay, you guys will have to tell me if the camera is looking better now. It's looking better on my end. I'll have to make sure my audio didn't switch. There was this other time I unplugged the camera and plugged it back in, and it switched which microphone I was using to like a microphone that's way over here by my camera. And then that whole stream sounded terrible. This is what I get for streaming on Friday the 13th. Okay, let's see. I believe I have Stream Tools running with our guys. Oh, the audio changed? Yeah. Still? Like, is that still current? Because like I switched it and switched it back. Okay. Let's do the test here. I'll tap the mic. I'll tap this mic. Okay, I think we're coming through the correct mic. I hope. Sorry, everybody. Such a disaster. Let me see if we still have any eyeballs. Anybody watching? One person, Aknakos, is watching. This is what happens when all of my emails and different things going out. Here, let's just take a minute. I'm going to send out the link on all of the channels. I will make sure that YouTube is saying we're doing good. Such a disaster. And I wish I could just like resume the video from where I was, but I can't. So now I gotta just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I'm going to grab the link, and I'm going to repost it in all of the channels that I usually post in, like Facebook and Twitter and blah 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 blah. Just so that anyone who is watching who wants to find their way back here after that disaster can find their way back. So I got the link. I'm going to be doing some tweeting, some live tweeting. Actually, I can just do that on the screen. Like, who cares? You guys can watch me tweet. I guess I probably shouldn't go into Facebook. I shouldn't go into Facebook on stream. All right, where is my profile? Just to give you guys something to watch. So I'm going to put a little comment here. Stream crashed. Starting over here. And I guess I'll put that on my original Twitter one. And I got some Discords I drop things in. Like the Godot Discord. And Facebook real quick. We usually get 1 or 2 people coming over from Facebook, so it's worthwhile to do. Wow. So what time is it? 10:18? 18 minutes of not doing game dev with Godot yet? This is horrible. This is a disaster. Let me get over to my Facebook page, which I'm not putting up. I don't want to expose people's Facebook things that they expect to stay within friends. I'm just going to drop a comment on each of my posts here. Okay, I think that's good. Let me go see if we got any eyeballs yet. 3 eyeballs, okay. Oh, it's not the worst. Not the worst. Aknakos asks, random question, have you had any experience with machine learning within games? No, I have done machine learning stuff, mostly with language processing, natural language processing with machine learning. I've never done game stuff. I'd be really interested. If anyone experiments with that or knows about anyone experimenting with that, like drop the link. I would love to see what's going on. All right, I'm going to try to see if I can get stream tools to show over the stream, unless that's what Crash does, which I guess I would like to know if that's what Crash does. So I'm going to risk it. I'm going to live dangerously. I'm going to attempt to get stream tools showing over the stream again. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, you guys got to let me know. Are the little dudes floating over the stream? Yes or no? And then I'm going to be looking over here a lot because this is where I have the chat on my my little sweet, yay, working, Aknako says. Haha. Okay. All right, where to start? Well, I was originally planning on sharing with you guys some of the things I'd gotten distracted with over the last week, some of my little side projects. Like I have my my 8-bit computer that I've been building from scratch from some Ben Eater videos and a kit, and it actually can like run things now that I've soldered that pin back on, and I've been messing around with some other 8-bit retro stuff, which is like, I'm obsessed with 8-bit retro stuff at the moment. But we're gonna skip over that, other than for me to just ask you guys if you're into retro gaming, either playing retro games, making retro games, the whole 8-bit era of things, because I would love to chat about that, geek out about that sometime. But I'm going to move on very quickly to the main topic of this stream, which is deterministic network physics. I just realized that I didn't put the link to the new stream on YouTube, which I should probably do. So let me just, one more social media thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to go and drop the link for the new video onto the old video. Actually, if I just put that in Restream chat, maybe that'll go places? I'm not sure. Yeah, probably not, because Restream's no longer connected to that old stream. So let me just go edit up this video. I'm going to say right up at the top, stream crashed. Crashed, new stream here. Wow, I guess, 19 episodes and we haven't had a big technical failure yet, which is probably pretty good, the way technology is and those things go. I'm just going to try and get to the actual video. I don't know if YouTube will let me put a link on the actual video. I put the link in the description. Add public comment. Stream crashed. And it appears to have appeared. Let me reload the page and see if it's really there, if YouTube is going to edit it out. No, YouTube left it. All right, cool. All right, that's the last of that. And we're going to be talking about deterministic network physics. Ooh, I think I messed up the little guys by switching screens. Ooh, we got someone new. Smaloki. Thanks for joining. All right. So we were last working on this deterministic network physics module 3 weeks ago. Not a lot has happened in the last 3 weeks because I've been mostly working on GitLab CI stuff so that it could actually build this so that when we make changes, people will be able to test it. So the state that it's in, let me actually build this and I will show you. The one thing about C++, the two things about C++, I have 2 things to complain about. The one thing is the waiting for it to compile. which I guess we'll just, chat or find something to do while we're waiting for it to compile. And the other thing is like just the amount of code that needs to be written. And when working in Godot, like the amount of indirection that I need to put in place to kind of architect this the way that I want. All right, so here we go. Everything built. I'll load up my physics test scene. All right, so the way that we are building this is we are making some new node types that kind of are similar to the built-in Godot physics nodes. So this is an SG Area 2D, SG standing for Snowpack Games, which has an SG collision shape 2D on it. I'm so distracted by being able to see the chat right here on the screen. So Aknakos is asking, maybe you talked about this before, but any reason you preferred C++ rather than C#? So I like C#. I really enjoy programming in C#. Like whenever I'm like building a big sophisticated project, I'm doing it in C#, I'm having a good time. The reason that I went for C++ is that nothing else in the game, well, a couple of reasons. So reason number one, nothing else in the game uses C#. And it seemed like a lot to add like the mono runtime and all that extra stuff just to do physics. But I certainly could have. I certainly could have done the physics in C#. There is Lucas, who I don't know if he's hanging out on the stream. He is using C# and is using the same like rollback netcode that I'm making for Retro Tank Party, and he did his physics in C#. But he's also going to do all of his game logic in C#, so it kind of makes sense there. The other reason is that we're doing a lot of mathy stuff. We're implementing deterministic physics by doing fixed point math. And in C#, like every object that you deal with is like dynamically allocated on the heap. It's kind of a heavy thing. And if I want to make a primitive to represent my fixed point numbers, like I don't want it to be like a big, heavy allocated thing. It's an integer. I want it to be an integer in memory. If I'm going to be crunching a lot of these integers, I don't know, it just felt right to me to do it in C++, just as a philosophical place to put this code. And also, I'm not a physics expert. I'm going to be learning this as we go. I've done like a little bit of collision detection and that sort of thing in the past. I feel like I have a lot more leeway to do my physics badly if I do it in C++, because I'll just get so much more performance because I'm closer to the metal in that way. So that with this game being as small as it is, I can kind of implement things a little bit inefficiently, and I'm hoping that C++ will save me a little bit. Anyway, that's the long short version. All right, so back to talking about where we're at here. So last time, I think we had the fixed position property working, and we would be able to move things around and have the fixed position change. What we didn't have working last time was that the position would update as well. So the way that this is going to work is we're going to have a fixed position, and we're also going to need a fixed rotation and a fixed scale, and all of these different properties of the node will be in fixed point numbers. And when we're in the editor, when we change those positions, like 400 or whatever, it will then update the fixed position. When we're not in the editor, when we're in like the real runtime version of the game, we don't want that to happen. We want the conversion to only go one way, from the fixed position to the normal position. So the fixed position is kind of like the underlying position according to the physics engine, and then the position is what is rendered, what is displayed. So we're only syncing in the one direction in runtime, and here we're syncing in both directions. And so we're going to have these nodes, these special new physics nodes, and those are going to be kind of the interface to Godot for working with the physics engine. And then the data from those nodes is going to be synced to some internal classes and objects that are the actual physics engine. And so if we go look at the code over here in VS Code, you can see I've got my SG Physics 2D module here and a bunch of folders. There's this editor folder with some editor plugins. This internal folder, which has like the internal actual physics engine in it. This math folder, which I'm going to put like all of my low-level data types, like the fixed point, not low-level. This is like, okay, so low-level, everything at the lowest level is all going to be in this internal folder. And then math is going to be like some mathy bits that we're exposing to Godot, to GDScript. And then down here in scene 2D, we're going to have all of our 2D nodes, and scene resources, we have all of our custom resources. And this model of having the nodes be kind of the interface to Godot that's syncing the data back to the physics engine to actually do physics might seem weird, like we're doing this copy, but it's actually exactly what Godot's normal physics engine is doing also, and is totally normal for physics engines in games in general, that you kind of have your game objects, and then you have your representations of them in the physics engine, and you're syncing back and forth between them. So, my goal for today is to finish connecting all of these dots such that we have something that can be roughly in some way described as collision detection. And right now, everything is still kind of half connected, but I want to get it fully connected so that from that point on, mostly what we're dealing with is the math of the physics. All right, so I have this test scene here where we have this little tank guy, and the goal is that this tank guy is going to move back and forth on our scene, and when it passes through this area, the tank guy's color is going to change. And we have some of the code for that already. Not here. This stuff just needs to be commented out. I guess it's in the character object or character script. So we're still using the physics process method just because Godot is making sure that it runs at 60 FPS or whatever FPS we configure it to. We certainly don't need to use it for any other reason. We can make our own method that has its own timer or whatever, but this is just simple. And we are getting our fixed position, and this fixed position is a special vector type that is created by the module, and we are adding this iadd is like basically the equivalent here. It's kind of doing this. Let me write this out differently. So if we actually had operator overloading, which we don't in GDScript, this would be plus equals the vector times 5. And our vector is a SG fixed vector 2 with an x value of 1024. We're using fixed point numbers with 10 bits for the fractional value, which means that 1024 is 1. So this is a vector pointing to the right. And the idea is that once we count up to this counter, we would flip the vector, and then the tank would start heading the other way. All right, let me see what's going on in chat. Jack Lamonde, welcome. All of your Nakama and Godot content is saving my life, man. Thank you. Thanks for saying. It's great to hear when the stuff I'm making is useful to people. Aknakos says, nice, I see. Since I'm a Python dev, I wish there was a NumPy numba in GDScript to help win the performance. That is actually a brilliant idea. If there was like a NumPy equivalent in GDScript, that would be so cool. So then imagining how that would work, you would have like some Godot objects that would provide like an interface to like low-level vectors of numbers, and then you would be able to run like, operations on them. Someone should make that. Aknakos, you want to make that? That sounds awesome. But yeah, if such a thing existed, maybe we could get away with doing the math in GDScript and doing all this physics in GDScript rather than having to resort to C++. Anyway, so where we are at, let's actually run this scene. Let's see what it does. It probably crashes horribly, but I just want to see. Come on, loading. Oh, okay, because I commented this out. Okay, simple GDScript syntax thing, not exploding because of our physics engine here. Huh? Well, it it runs without crashing. Yeah, Aknago says he'd love to if he had more time. Yeah, too many projects, man. Too many projects. I have to like try so hard to not like suddenly like I'm gonna go make an NES game, or like that's like what's on my mind right now. I have to like no, I'm working on network physics for Retro Tank Party. All right, so our script is running to some degree. It's updating the fixed position. It's printing it out. This counter is probably actually working, but the position on screen is not changing. So why is that? Let's go take a look at the code. And I will actually close the, or no, I'll keep it running in case we want to debug it. I have this tendency to accidentally leave too many copies of the editor open when I'm doing C++ stuff, because I'll like forget to close it before I compile and run another one. All right, so let's go to, what object was that? That was an SG area 2D, which descends from our SG collision object 2D, which descends from our SG fixed node 2D. And this is where fixed position happens. And so our set fixed position should be updating the node's actual position, which should get represented on the screen and isn't for some reason. So let's jump down to set fixed position. All right, so we update the fixed position. Updating position equals true. We set the position with float, then updating position. Why does that not do anything visually in the engine? Do we need to do more than just set position? So I don't do a ton of just like gameplay code from GD native or whatever. So there might be like some obvious step that I'm missing, but I would think that this would, move us over there. We have this changed callback. This should only be happening in the editor, but certainly possible it could happen elsewhere. I would have thought just setting the node 2D position would work. I guess let's determine if we are actually setting it or if something is going wrong at the point of setting. And then if it's actually setting it but still not updating the screen, then we will investigate if there is some other thing we're supposed to be doing here. So I'm going to set a breakpoint, and we are going to run this scene. And our breakpoint was hit. Let's take a look here. Where's like, I am very not used to the debugger. Okay, here we go. So this is our call stack. So okay, Node2ds set position, blah 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 blah. This is all editor stuff. Are we even in the right place here? I feel like we're not. I feel like we're not in the right place. And why do we have so many threads? Okay, so this thread looks like the thread that's paused. Okay, this is the thread that's paused on the breakpoint. This is all editor stuff. So let's just continue and let's try and get to the gameplay stuff. This is still saving scenes. Changed. We're still saving scenes. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna keep. All right. Oh, okay. Now the game is loading. So now we are not seeing it because this is a new process. Okay, we have to come up with a different way to start this. All right, so let's close you. So what's happening basically, so I can explain a little bit, is we are launching the Godot editor over here in the debugger, and then the Godot editor is launching our game, and that's why the debugger can't see it. We need to actually launch our game, which is not too hard to do. Our breakpoint's probably going to hit. Oh no, okay, I was worried our breakpoint was going to get hit a bunch more times in the editor. So to change that, I think we want to change what gets run in VS Code. Not this one. Is it this one? Okay, here we go. So I have it set up to run the editor at this path, and we're just going to change it to directly run the game at this path. And so if I go to run it, that should launch our game in the debugger, and we should get stopped on that breakpoint and see what the heck is going on. Waiting to compile. Anything going on in chat? Okay, so that launched. I don't want to launch the whole game though. I just want to launch that scene. Okay. What we're gonna do to work around this, there probably is some command line argument I can give to launch just the scene and not the whole game. I'm actually kind of curious about that. Maybe I will look it up. I was about to say that I'll just change what the main scene is temporarily, but let's see if I'll make this big so you guys can look with me. Main pack, blah blah blah, resolution, remote debug, fixed FPS, check only. Interesting. So let's path is what we're setting. Is there an argument to pick which scene we want to launch? Script, we can run a particular script. All right, I don't see it. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know in the chat. It might also just be in the docs and not in the help output here. We're going to take the lazy way around. We are going to go into the project file. This big font. And we're going to look for main.tscn. Main something? Why isn't it? Isn't it in the project file that sets what the main scene is? And ours is called main.tscn, right? Or not. Source main. I actually do not recall what the name of it is. I guess I'll actually start Godot. I don't want to open the project with too many different versions of Godot, because that can also create problems. But I will give it a shot. Of course, that opened on the wrong screen. Let me move it over here. Retro Tank Party. I saw someone said something in chat. Godot options path to scene or project. I776 perhaps has the answer. Thanks for looking that up. Or maybe you even saw it on my screen and I just didn't see it. Let me try. I'm just gonna try running it by hand, and we'll see. Of course, I don't know which scene is the main scene, so let's answer that question. The main scene is source main title. Source main title. All right, but let's run our test scene, which I believe is just at the top level. Physics test. So let's try it. Physics test TSCN. See what that does. Oh, it's probably crashing because it does not have these resource types. But that seemed to work. That seemed to work. Good work, I776. I think you have the answer. Okay, let's kill this. Let's try that. Thanks to the hive mind of the stream being smarter than me, we will. Okay, Alexa came to. The smart speaker on my desk came to life, and that was creepy. So we want to run. So this would be just physics test TSCN. Let's give this a shot. See what happens. These compile times get too long. Like maybe we will just do some 8-bit development during the compile times, so we can write some 6502 assembly. I want to. If you guys give me any excuse to do it, I'm going to do it. All right. Ooh, and we got to our breakpoint. Sweet. So that totally worked. Good work, HiveMind, and especially I776. All right. So we are setting the property. Just getting called to this method. So we are here in set position, and I think I want to step into. Let's step into set position. So this is don't step that far into. All right, let's get past the operator. And oh, I like totally missed it. All right, well, we might have to set some breakpoints in there. But I guess at this point we can inspect the node. Once I figure out how to do that. This is debug console. Is that helpful? You know, I'm used to debuggers in different IDEs giving me like this like breakdown of objects that I can drill into, and I just do not have that here. I don't know why. Let me just see. Can I type like GDB commands to it? I don't even know if there's a variable called position. Unable to create. I don't know. I don't know what that's even doing. Okay. I do know that you can kind of like hover over objects to get info. Wow, this might turn into a how do we use the VS Code debugger moment here. VS Code debugger drill into objects. Debugging in VS Code. If anyone knows, like, feel free to tell me because I'd very much like to know. So we already have this CS++ debugging thing. Debug. We set breakpoints. We're good on that. I just want to drill into the memory here. Ooh, this panel looks brilliant with the variables up at the top and everything. How do I get that? How do I get that? Oh, here we go. Oh, it was right up here and I'm just not seeing it. I was just not seeing it because I was expecting it to be down in the bottom part because that's where I'm used to seeing it in different IDEs. All right. Okay, perfect. We have it right here, right in front of my face. Okay, so Node2d. We're going to look at the memory of Node2d. And this is not as helpful as I was hoping it would be. So fixed position. How do I drill into the value here? Anonymous union. Okay, okay. So here's the actual parts on our fixed point value, and so this I think is internally what the position is. Okay. So the position is currently 616. Let me continue. We'll get another loop and see what it is on the next time around. So we came back around, and x is 335. Let's do another. Interesting. And then now we're just not stopping on this breakpoint. Very interesting. What do you think is happening? So our app is still running. It's updating its position. We can see that in the terminal. But for some reason, set fixed position is not occurring. Let's look at our code in Godot. I guess we have to start our custom version of the editor. Let me figure out where that's at. I think, hang on. Let me look at how this is being compiled. I think it might be going to my normal, where are you building? Oh, okay, Godot 3. Okay, so I have a folder where I keep the Godot 3 source code, mostly for when I'm actually hacking on Godot. And I guess that's where I'm having it build the Godot source code from. And what was I coming here for? I have forgotten. Let's go back up the stack trace in my mind. Oh, I wanted to start the editor. I want to start our copy of the editor without starting it in the debugger. So that would be Godot x11 opt tools. Yes, opt tools. So that we can look at our code and just see if fixed position should be getting updated, or I'm doing something dumb in the GD script that is unexpected end of file. That is intriguing. What is happening? Okay, let's look at this physics test TSCN. It seems to be like a normally running file here. Cannot create sub-resource, but this is our compiled version of Godot. Oh, and it's not opt. Is it .debug or is it just normal? Okay, hang on. I'm opening the wrong copy of the Godot editor. Let's just look at what all the options are here. And we want tools, but not opt. Just plain debug. All right, getting everything oriented here. Since it has been so long since we've dug into this, we'll get our sea legs, and hopefully start to be effective here. Okay, so we're doing fixed position I add, which seems to not be triggering the set fixed position method. So let's do this a little differently and more inefficiently, but just to see if it works. And then if this does work, it means we need to go make some changes to the way iadd works to kind of like let the parent object know that something has changed. So we're going to comment this out, do fixed position equals fixed position add. So rather than I add, which is like plus equals, we're going to do just a plain plus to vector mulf 5. So the f at the end is because it's multiplying against a fixed point number rather than another vector. And I think I could implement this without needing to have a f to tell you when to do a fixed point value versus a vector just by looking at the value that you're passing it. But I didn't, and maybe that's a change we can make today. So let's quit this. I'm gonna exit out of that terminal, and let's start this up again. Let me see if anything's going on in chat while we're compiling here. Yeah, Aknakos noticed right away. Top left, there's a variable section in the top left. Yeah, sorry, man. I am just unbelievably dumb sometimes. You get used to the tools you're used to, and then just like have blind spots. So I really don't use VS Code very often. All right, so we've hit this breakpoint, and let's drill into the position like we did last time, and watch the X position, which is at 616. And we will continue. So this appears to be like initializing it to this 335 value. I don't know why it's starting at 616, but so now we're sort of set at the original value, and then we'll watch another loop go. And we don't land here again. Why do we not land on set fixed position? So the code for sure is doing fixed position equals fixed position, blah, blah, blah. Let's get even more explicit. Let's do set fixed position. The thing that's crazy is like we can see in the terminal. Ooh, non-existent call to function multf. Oh, I typoed. Not multf, it's mulf. Mulf. So I wonder, okay, let's go back to the original thing. Fixed position equals. Glad I checked that terminal. And we're going to exit out of here. And let's run it again. Getting there, getting there. Yeah, so I do use JetBrains stuff quite a lot. I mostly do PHP and PHP Storm for my main source of income. Yeah, in some cases setter is not called. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. This will be the test here. So let's drill into all right. So this is the initial set from 616 to 335, and we loop again. Ooh, here we go. A fractional value was added. So 335, and it's updating it. All right, so let's remove the breakpoint. Let's continue, and we'll jump back to the game and see if we see the tank move. I think it might be moving. Very fractionally. So what rate are we moving it at? Let's look at the code here. So the vector, which is essentially 1 to the right, we're multiplying it by 5. So that should theoretically move it 5 pixels each time. That doesn't appear to be what's happening. Let's set our breakpoint again, which should stop execution right when I set it. Click, click. There we go. So we have 335. 0.141602. Okay. Let's do another loop. Yeah, it's updating it like the tiniest amount possible. And I wonder where the bug is for that. So let's look at the numbers that we have. The fixed position is the X position is this value, and we can, in a calculator, figure out what that is I do not have a good bitwise calculator on my computer, so I'm going to do this on my phone. If you guys know like a good bitwise calculator on the web, that would be amazing. What I want to do is I want to shift this number 10 bits to the right and see what we get. So I got this bit calculator, which is pretty nice, and I can enter this decimal value 343145. Why will it not let me do a number? Is it set to 16-bit? My calculator is set to 16-bit. All right, let's just change our calculator to 32-bit. All right, and we are going to LSR. That's logical shift right 10 times. And we get 335. Okay, so we're good there. And let's watch how much the value updates each time. So we went from 145 to 140, 135. So it's removing literally 5. It's not removing 1 times 5. It's removing literally 5. So that's not right. I bet there's a problem in one of the math structures. Let's take a look at So we'll start at the top. We have our fixed vector. This is a class exposed to Godot. We are doing the mulf function here. We are multiplying this fixed point against a we're multiplying the vector times a fixed point value. So creating a new vector, which is the value. This is the internal vector times this value here, and we're creating a new fixed 2 vector. Okay, so maybe some problem in this fixed vector 2 and its math function. So let's go to mulf here. Wait. I've gone in circle. I've just did a big circle. That's not what I want. I don't want SG vector. I want fixed vector 2. Okay. Fixed vector 2 has a times, not a times vector, a times fixed value, which looks right. Like this looks right. All right, well let's debug a little further. We'll put some more breakpoints and we'll try to catch where this is going wrong. So the mulf here, we'll try to catch that one. Where are we currently breakpointed? We are currently stopped here. So let's do another iteration, which should get us to this mulf here. Let's look at the values. Other is 5, and the internal value is a union of x. That's interesting. I don't know why the x is negative 124. It should have been positive, but yeah, whatever. We'll deal with that later. We just want to see it multiply. So we're multiplying the value, which is this negative 1024. Or actually, we need to go deeper than this. We need to go, so this is, okay, everything looks fine here. What we need to get into is the value is a fixed vector 2. Fixed vector 2. And we want to get into its, no, I'm in the wrong place again. Fixed vector 2. There we go. We want to get into its multiplication method here and try and figure out what's going wrong. And then this goes down to fixed point numbers, which I guess, yeah, maybe we should even drill down to the fixed point number data type. I need unit tests for these low-level data types is what I need. They would be easy to do because they're not connected to Godot at all. And it would allow me to just like quickly run through and make sure all of the math in every place is right. So where is our multiplication here? So fixed times fixed. I think we do want to land in here too. All right, so let's get back to our debugger. This seems fine. Let's step to the next breakpoint, which gets us here. So let's take a look at our memory again. Our value, oddly, is 0. How is our value 0? So other still looks right. Its value is 5. But our value of the current fixed point number is 0, and it shouldn't be. Let's go up the stack here. So times, we have our x value here. This value is negative 1024. Why is x times PV going the next value down, coming out as 0? So the next value down, 0 times 5 is going to lead to 0, right? Let's just, oh, okay, so maybe I broke too early and the values weren't filled in. Okay, so now it says negative 1024 times 5. Oops, I was meant to hit step over, not continue. So I did not quite get as deep in there as I wanted to. Let's just do it again. I'll continue, and here we are. So 1024 by 5. We want to go down one more level. We want to see, okay, I'm going to do the step over. So, wait, now value is 0, like it's legitimately 0. I'm doing something dumb somewhere. Let me see if chat noticed it. Since you guys have been catching me like crazy. The clean, I've just come back, I'm out of the loop. If you want to move integer 10 times to the right, divide by 2 to the 10th. Yeah, oh, yeah, I can do that. I could just do that on a normal calculator. That would be perfect. That would even give me the fractional part. Yeah, great idea, the clean. So I still need to figure out why value here is suddenly 0. So this fixed. Okay, let's go back to the top here. So we have a fixed vector where we are multiplying x by PV, where x is this fixed point number here. And when we're at this level, x has a value of negative 1024, which is cool. And then we go down one level, and for whatever reason, value now is 0. How is this happening? I need unit tests. That's the answer. You guys want to make some unit tests real quick? I don't know if that's the answer, honestly, but that would be so much easier than stepping through this in the debugger and wondering what the heck is going on. Unless anyone else has some better ideas. So I hover over PV. Why can't I hover over X? I guess I know what it is. It's over here. X has a value of negative 1024. Width should be the same because it's a union. Up here, everything seems good. Value times this other fixed of P. And we descend. And we descend. And for some reason, deep down here, it is 0, which makes no sense. It's one frame up the call stack. It is not 0. Unless that's the y. Unless we're seeing y instead of x on this first step down the call stack. That's actually totally possible. This could be the y multiplication. Let's continue, which should bring us back here for the x multiplication, assuming that I'm right about my theory. Brought us back. Haha, okay, whoo. All right, that was the y multiplication. All right, so now that's the x. We're gonna step over. Temp should be, this value looks right. Why are we moving it over these fractional bits? So we're multiplying a vector by 5. So I know why we would do this for a normal multiplication, but our value is just too small. So in fixed point math, when you multiply two fixed point numbers together, you want to then move them over by 5. But our value of 5... Oh, I know where our thinko is happening. I know exactly where it's happening. This 5 is a fixed point 5, which is not 5 in my brain. This needs to be 5 times 1024 to get 5 pixels per second. What we were moving it by was 5 in a fixed point value, which, using the cleans idea here, let's get up like a calculator. I don't know, good web calculator in general. Ooh, I like this one. Thanks, Google. So 5 divided by 1024, we were moving by 0.0048 blah, blah, blah pixels per second. Okay, so part of this, I think, is just getting our minds around what numbers are real integers and what numbers are fixed point values. So okay, let's get out of the debugger. Let's stop debugging. Where the heck is the debugger? All right. I'm going to remove my breakpoint. Continue. I'm going to remove this breakpoint. Continue. Move this breakpoint. Continue. And let's go see what happens. So nothing, because I updated that code here, but we're not running from the editor, so it doesn't get the live reload thing. So we're going to have to stop and rerun through here. And I saved this, right? I better have saved this. While this thing is doing its little scons dance. Yeah, when 5 isn't 5. When 5 is really 0.00488. What a thing. Hey! And it's going back and forth. Okay, let's, I don't know how that relates to the position of our area that we're trying to have it collide with. But wow, okay. So, this is working. The fixed equals fixed position. This I-add should work, but doesn't. So let's address that next. Let's try to make this I-add actually do the update that we want it to do. And I don't know the best way to do that in a very Godot-ish way, a very Godot-ian way, but we will figure it out. We'll figure it out together. So let's kill this, get rid of all these excess terminals, and I guess we want to change this to the I-add version because that's what we are going to be testing. And let's go over to our code. Aknako says, I remember C++ unit tests being a pain. Are they better these days? I don't know. I don't know. I also have not done C++ unit tests since the aughts. Last time I was doing a lot of C++ was in the aughts. But I mean, it's fundamentally, we're just going to write a teeny tiny exe that just has our code that like runs it through a couple of known cases. Like that can't be that hard, right? But we're not going to dig into that unless we have to, and I think we don't have to because we solved our problem. I will maybe address unit tests off stream because that is not necessarily the most exciting content to stream. All right, so we have this I-add value. We want to trigger some sort of changed event or changed signal. Let's go see what's available on the data type that we already have. This is a reference which descends from object, and I know that object has a lot of fun stuff on it. So let's go look at the Godot docs for object. So signals, script changed. I mean, we could just put a signal on it. I'm going to see if there's something else we can do. Add user signal. That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure what that does. So it has the one signal. I'm kind of curious how normal vector 2 objects like let the containing object know that they have changed. So that might be a place to look also. Properly list change notify. Nothing immediately jumps out at me here. I do kind of want to see how normal nodes handle this with normal vectors, because they have to do something. Although normal vectors are like a primitive data type in GDScript, so it might be different. What's another object that you like dig into in Godot that you set that then like magically updates the thing above it, like a transform? Although I think transforms are also primitive data types in Godot. Let's take a look at Node2ds Code really quick, just to see. So I'm looking for its get position, because you can say node.position.x equals, and then it updates. Although that's with equals. Maybe that somehow has some effect here. I don't know. Let's drill down. So point2d is really a vector too. See if anything here looks like the vector2 has the ability to notify other nodes that it has changed. If not, we'll just make up our own thing, which is fine. Yeah, it really doesn't look like it. It must be handling it because vector2s are a primitive type. And that just does some magic. All right. So our vector2 object here, we need to give it some kind of signal that the parent object can subscribe to. I don't recall defining a signal in C++ before. No, I must have. In WebXR. Let's go look at some Godot code I've written previously. We want WebXR interface C++, I think, because it would be in bind. Yeah, here we go. So here's how we add a signal. So we're going to add a changed signal. Let me just make sure. So object is the top. Then the next is reference. I'm just checking like other things in the hierarchy to make sure that I'm not going to overlook a different signal that's like already called changed. Nope, reference has got nothing, and then we're descending from reference. Okay. So, ooh, bring! I was bringed. Thank you for subscribing, whoever you were, anonymous bringer. Let me copy paste this code, and we will take it over to our SG fixed vector 2, and we want the CPP file. We want to go to bind. Add signal. We're going to call it changed. Will it have any properties? I don't think so. It could pass itself as an easy way to get the value, but if you're subscribing to it or connecting to it, you should already know what you're connecting to. So yeah, I don't think we need to put anything there. Let me just go take a peek at the WebXR interface to see if I did any without any arguments. Okay. So I don't necessarily know what that looks like, but oh no, here we go. Add signal, some with no arguments. Perfect. It looks like that. Let's and then we need to bind to this method, and then we need to call this method. So let's start with the calling, because that's the easiest part. Sorry, I keep yawning. That's the worst. Yawning on stream. I'm going to send the yawn out into the metaverse. Sorry, guys. Ooh, someone's asking a question. Let me get distracted. Tangent question. Do you know how Godot 4 will handle GD native compared to Godot 3? Hopefully these questions is not a problem for your train of thought. Everything is a problem for my train of thought. I am 90% sure that I have some version of ADHD. I don't know for 100% sure because I keep flaking out on my appointment for a psychological evaluation to determine if I have ADHD. And I have a feeling that the fact that I keep making this appointment and then flaking out on it is a sign that I have ADHD. But That's besides the point. So Godot 4 is going to have a completely new system. I think it's being called GD extension, which is going to be more similar to creating Godot modules than making GD native plugins in the past. I know that Georges Marx is working on it, and I don't know how it's going to look like for real in the end. I don't know that it's finished enough to try. I subscribe to all of the Git repos for Godot, and I try to stay on top of that fire hose, but I'm not sure. But hopefully it's going to be awesome, because I really don't like writing GD native plugins. It sucks, and I like writing Godot modules better, and if GD extension is more like writing Godot modules, that would be amazing. So let's emit this signal every time we are doing any of these I methods. And I think this needs to be a string name, right? Do I have to convert it to a string name, or will it magically become a string name? Questions that I know the answer to but have forgotten. Let's go look at this code that I wrote previously, and we'll just search for emit signal and see why is this. Oh, okay, so this is the interface. I need the interface JS WebXR interface JS. We're looking for emit signal. Okay, so we don't have to convert them to string names. Apparently that happens automatically. I know that in Godot 4 we'll have to wrap string names, or not have to, but I think it's a big performance improvement to wrap all of your string names in an sname macro. So where was I? I was on sg fixed vector to CPP. Let's just type it. That'll get me there faster, I think. Why is like my key command's not working? There we go. sg fixed vector to CPP. Okay, so emit signal, we don't have to do string name, we'll just do changed. Bam. And we will copy and paste this to all of the I methods. The most important one being the imulf, or no, iadd, because that's one we're actually calling. We're not calling the imulf. Although we could now, because now it's going to work. Oop. Okay. So that should be good. Oh, I guess we have to call it here too. This from float will also update it. So anything where we are changing it in place, any method not ending in const, really. I think that covers them all. So now we have declared the signal, we are emitting the signal, we now need to bind to the signal. Let's go to, this would be in our fixed Node2d, our fixed point version of Node2d. We need to bind to this on fixed point. I guess we'll do it in the constructor. We'll need a method to get called, which I guess will be not virtual. I just started typing virtual because I saw the word virtual above it. This will be fixed position changed. And I guess it could be private, but I'm making it protected. I have this tendency to not want to make too many things private from bad experiences in the past. And so we'll put this, I'm trying to put the methods in the CPP file in roughly the order they are declared in the H file. So that would put it above set fixed position. Void sg fixed node2d. What did I just call that 2 seconds ago? Something about fixed position. Autocomplete is failing me. Fixed position changed. Fixed position changed. And then we need to, I guess we could call our set fixed position, because it does, this equals is basically saying this object equals itself, which is fine. It's a little wasteful, but it's fine. And then we go to here. Is that okay? I mean, we are going to be calling this a lot, So I want to make sure I'm not doing something too grotesquely unperformant. I think that's fine. Let's just start with that. We'll be profiling later at some point anyway, so we'll just do the easy thing here. Set fixed position, fixed position. Okay, so we have the callback. We just need to bind to it now. And I also don't remember how to do that in C++, but we'll figure it out. So fixed position, we have it as a reference, right? So connect, and here we go. So string name, the object to connect to, the string name, the method to connect to. That actually works in C++. I am unconvinced. I feel like we should have to pass like a function pointer or something. Let's, because this seems like very not right to me, maybe there's another version of this method, like another overloaded version. How can it call? Oh, because if it's a bound method, it can totally call it by name. So does everything we connect to have to be bound? I guess so. Well, let's do that. Let's bind it and see where that gets us. So if we're going to bind it, it can't be protected. It has to be public. And so then we need to think slightly harder about how we're going to name it. Whatever, let's just leave it called this. Naming's hard. Naming's hard. We'll leave it be called this. We will bind it. And this is how it's getting the function pointer. Because it's fixed position changed. Doesn't have an argument. And this is fixed position changed. All right. And so then down here, we can connect to, this would be changed, the changed signal on the fixed position object. We're connecting to ourselves, and it is fixed position changed. And are the rest of those optional? The rest of those are optional. Okay. Beep. So, let's try this. Let's give it a shot. We will compile and go, and I think I still have it set to start up the game itself rather than the editor. And I'll take a look and see what's going on in chat. The clean. Why is it important to get notification when the value changes? So we need for this set fixed position basically to happen every single time the fixed position changes. And we have these I methods, these in place methods. Like here we go, fixed position .iadd that is updating it without doing equals. And maybe that means that the iadd methods are a bad idea and I should remove them. That's also a possibility. Maybe I'll come to that conclusion at some point. But earlier we were stepping through this and found that, you know, this wasn't leading to the set fixed position being called. So now we're trying to make it so that the set fixed position is being called. And this is taking long enough that I think I have a compile error. No, it's just linking really slow. And the terminal. Get the play-by-play of C++ going on here. And it's not moving. So we can still see that the position is getting updated by an amount that seems really low, to be honest. Weren't we doing updates by some value of oh, you know what? Okay, so I uncommented that code, but I didn't fix the problem that we had last time. So it's now doing 5 again instead of 5 times 1024. Let's just try it again with now that script is changed. So we'll quit this, all of this commented out code needs to, well, this is times, say 5 to 1024. This code's just here for demonstration purposes, but I want to make sure I don't have anything commented out that I will regret uncommenting later. And still not working. Interesting. Well, to the debugger. Let's see, so fixed position changed. Fixed position changed. Let's look in the terminal, make sure, okay, well, there's no errors that I can see here. So there's that. And let's look at the values. These look like they're changing at the right pace now, so that's good. And I guess, yeah, let's see if this method's being called ever. It does not appear to be. Our fixed position changed method is not getting called. So let's dig a little deeper. Let's go to our SG vector 2 and our I add method. So we're here. This method is getting called, which is good. Getting to emit signal changed. And that must be where things are going wrong. Let me double check the code that I did to bind this. Yeah, so add signal, method info changed. That seems fine. I guess, yeah, let's, we'll step over. And then let's step into. Step too far into. Let's step over till we get back to somewhere sane, and we did not. What's going wrong? So, we added a signal. This is on the SG fixed vector 2. We are emitting it, theoretically, if anything is actually getting emitted. And over on fixed node, we are connecting to it. I'm at a loss. If anyone has any ideas, feel free to chat them out. I'm just gonna think for a moment here. Or I guess the way to get more intel on this, I guess, would be to dig deeper into Emit Signal. Come on, take me to the definition, which you are not doing. This is on object. We can get there ourselves. Object CPP. Emit Signal. Yeah. Clean says signals are not connected. I mean, they appear to not be. I just don't know what we're doing wrong here. I wonder, yeah, if something's going wrong on connect, but I feel like a warning or something would have been emitted on connect if something was wrong. So is this the real emit signal? It's underscore emit signal. Let me see if I can get to top level emit signal. Yeah, so debug is enabled, so like we should get this thing here. But yeah, it could be a problem on connect also. Yeah, I guess let's drop into emit signal. Let's maybe check out fixed node here. So connect goes signal name changed, object, method to connect to, which is fixed position changed, which fixed position changed. Don't see a typo there. This is the address of fixed position changed. I moved that from being protected, right? I did. I feel like there should be a way to do this without binding to something and doing proper signals like this, but I think this is fine if it worked. Yeah, let me drop a breakpoint in connect also, which this strangely did not get me to. Connect. All right. Let's give this a shot. So it is not still running because we are stopped on something. Let's go to the debugger. Where are we stopped? We're stopped here on IAD. Okay, we need to get to the next one, so we'll just hit continue. So emit signal. Let's make sure we're emitting the signal we care about, which I guess is pname. Pname. Oh, string names. You're gonna make this hard for me, aren't you? Idle frame. Okay, that's not the one we want. Physics frame. All right, here we go. We're back in IAD. Should jump to emit signal here. Changed. All right, so we're on the right emit signal. So we're going to step over. And here we go. Signal map. This is the list of possible signals. Step over. It's going to check if it exists or not. It apparently does not exist. Class DB has signal. Get class. Did we like forget a recompile or something? I get so flustered on what I'm doing on stream. I'm gonna kill this, recompile just to make sure I didn't forget to compile or something. I mean, no, because the breakpoints are lining up. So class DB has signal. So apparently it's getting stuck on the fact that the fixed vector 2 does not even have the signal, supposedly. Why am I in WebXR? Get out of WebXR. Let me look at I'm gonna look at the bind code again, the bind methods code again. SG fix vector 2 bind methods. We're adding a signal with method info, and I guess yeah, now I do want to look at the WebXR code again, not this one, because I do have some signals that do not have any arguments, and they look just like this. They look just like this. Where's fix vector again? Fix vector 2 CPP. Method changed. For some reason, class DB thinks that this does not exist. I'm going to hit recompile just for save this file a couple more times. Didn't look like it recompiled anything, so there must not have been any changes as far as scons was concerned. And here we are. I think this is the connect. Or no, we're on emit signal. I need to just disable all these breakpoints. Is there a quick button to do that in VS Code? Hey, there we go. We're still not working. You know, we could just say we don't care about these in-place methods like IAD and whatnot, and move on. That is an option because we still need to get to where we're actually syncing these positions and all this data to the physics engine so we can detect some collisions. I just don't know why this doesn't work. It's so frustrating. Start on something that should just be easy and just plain does not work. Okay, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to go to SG vector 2 This add signal should totally be working. I wonder if like changed is like some magic name that we can't use. I don't know. Okay, well, we'll leave this here for now. We'll switch back to the code that is actually working, and I will add something to my to-do to circle back on figuring out why this doesn't work. So this is sg fixed vector2 should emit changed signal. For some reason, class DB doesn't think this signal exists. All right, and to just skip over things, we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna quick check chat here to see if anyone has any good ideas. The clean asks, does the connected function take parameters? I mean, it can, but the problem appears to be we were stepping into emit signal and we got to the branch where it said that the signal doesn't exist on this particular class. And so it seems like the problem isn't at the connection, it's at the existence of the signal, which is just strange. I feel like that should just work when comparing it to other code that I have that does work. But yeah, we'll leave that mystery for the moment. Oh, come on. In VS Code, I have Vim bindings. So over here, I'm just keep typing like :W. Okay, so we'll stick with this, and we'll get back to our original plan, connecting the dots. We're going to stay laser focused, hopefully, maybe, probably not. So we are updating the fixed position, which we want to have that trickle back into the actual internal physics object, where the way I have this working, at least currently, is that it's shapes that matter. The area 2D actually exists as an object and has shapes, but it's the actual shapes that are going to be doing the collision detection. So let me just look at the shapes code really quick. So we have this rectangle, which will have a position from its parent class and an extent from it. And we will be able to call our overlaps shape. We're going to do this really naively for today. Eventually, we're going to have a broad phase collision, a broad phase for the collision detection. But for now, we're just going to like loop over all the shapes. And we need to make sure that this internal rectangle 2D shape gets updated with the data from that node that we're moving around. So let's go up to our area 2D. I have this sync to physics engine method as like just a brute force, like this should sync. I don't know if I want to use it. I think I created that on the last stream we were doing this. It would be great if it just like automatically synced to the physics engine, but maybe that's going to be wasteful anyway. Maybe we want to have the explicit method. So anyway, where does that come from? Sync to physics engine comes from here. Is it bound? It is bound. Sync to physics engine is actually bound. So let's say we update our area 2D, and then we call sync to physics engine. Engine. And we're eventually going to do some overlaps area thing, but this method isn't right. We'll work our way there. So we're going to call sync to physics engine, and if we go back to here, this is going to update the shapes with their current position and extents. And I guess we will be looping over the shapes, and I always forget how to loop over lists. I will need to probably steal some code from somewhere else, but I think it's something like sg shape internal pointer element. And I don't remember if we do a pointer to the element or the actual element. I think we do a pointer, as long as e exists and e equals e dash next. That's my guess. And now we will look up how this actually is done. It's definitely not next because it's getting some sort of next pointer. Next pointer. Okay, let's look this up. We'll just go through the source code here of Godot. We're going to search for element. We'll search for element and find an example. So for element e front e equals e.next. Oh, it's a method. Okay. Okay. So we will come back up in here. No, it was collision object to D. No, it was area to D. I was right the first time. Okay, so E. Why was E front? Wait, hang on. Okay, E equals front, then just plain E, then next. Okay. Equals, this is shapes front, and then E equals next. What else am I doing wrong here? Shapes is undefined. Oh, the area 2D has the shapes. Okay, we need to loop over that area's shapes. Area, can we access its shapes? Apparently not. Okay, so should we have kept our own copy of that? So the area 2D knows how to sync because it knows the node positions. The shapes don't know. This area doesn't know. So it does need to be the one that loops. I think we have to expose that, which is a bad idea because then we're breaking encapsulation. Can I have an accessor that gets it that isn't totally wasteful? It's the internal object here. How do other Godot methods do this? Let's see if we have, I'm going to look for things that are list. Let's start with get. So this is from the Godot physics engine. This is actually a very similar case here. Because this is the space code asking for a list of active bodies. And I wonder if its area 2D is monitored bodies. Okay, well, so get active body list. Let me just go look at that real quick. See how a similar Godot method is working. Space 2D. Look for lists. So okay, internally it has this list. Which I think is just the same kind of list, and it's returning a const reference. Yes, that sounds good. So a reference means we won't be copying it, and it's const, which means we won't be breaking encapsulation. We won't let anything add or remove, because we want to have control over that so we can do all of the bookkeeping the physics engine needs to do when shapes are added and removed. So we'll do it like that. All right. So we are going to go to the internal area 2D. Where are you? Internal bodies, yes. And so we have the underlying list here, and we need a const reference to the same list type. Do get shapes. And because we are returning a const reference, I think we can make the whole method be const. So that seems good. Let's come over here. Do all of the unbelievable amounts of retyping that C++ requires us to do. Of course, this is const reference. Let's area to D, get shapes, const, we'll return shapes. All right, so now let's go back to, we were working in the node version, the area 2D node, and rather than just shapes, we need to call get shapes. And why are you complaining? Value, blah, 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 cannot be used to initialize entity. Oh my God. C++, what are you doing to us? Okay, so we're going to create a const reference here of shapes. Man, I'm not used to this, the code style that the Godot project uses. See, I even like violated it over here. I always want to have a space between the pointer, dereference, whatever symbol, and the type. Whereas I think of them as the type. Like I think of this whole entity right here as the type, and so I want to scrunch them together. But the coding style in Godot is this other way around. So shapes equals area get shapes, and then I think, but don't know for sure, let me comment this, that we can do a thing where we actually refer to the variable and get the values. Because can I do like element like this? Or equals, or no, not shapes, shapes dot front. Can I do that? Is that allowed? No, not allowed. C++. All right, let's look at some more of these for loops. See how people are doing them. Of course, I stopped in the middle of some junk here. Okay, let's run this through less, so I don't have to. So I think, I guess I didn't pay that much attention, but I think it was complaining because I was not using a const version of the type. And that's why I kind of typed it out there again. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go see exactly what the error is. So you're complaining. A value of type const list blah 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 element cannot be used to initialize an element of type. No. So can I just throw const on the front of here? Will that work? Hey! Okay. Let me go see if chat was screaming that at me this whole time. Whoop. I got disconnected from chat on my computer. Let me refresh the page. My little Chromebook went to sleep and lost the connection. Oh, and it of course doesn't give me history. A wild Osman has appeared. Hey, Osman Pro HD. You've missed some stuff. I don't know if any of it was particularly exciting. The stream crashing, me fumbling around with C++y things here. Okay. So back to work. How much time do we have? We have like 15 minutes. We didn't even get something resembling collision detection. We did like dig around in Godot internals a little bit. Maybe that was entertaining. I hope it was. Okay, we'll see what we can get done in the next 15 minutes. So we want to loop over the shapes, and we want to update the shapes position in the physics engine to match the position of the node shape. So we are getting these. How do I dereference the elements to get the actual value? Oh my god. Okay, fine. We'll go look in physics server to answer this question. Physics server CPP. We're gonna go to line 210 or 201. No, that was not right. 201. I typed 201. Oh, because I went to some random other file. Physics server CPP, not bullet physics server. 201G. Get. Get. All right. I don't know why my memory is incapable of remembering how these loops work, but I literally forget it every single time. Okay, so this will be the actual underlying shape. So we'll say SG shape 2D internal. We'll just declare a little temporary variable for it for my own personal sanity. And what we need to do is we need to update its position. Let's go see if the internal shape does have a position on it. Shape 2D internal. We have bounds, we have extents, we have position, set position. All right. So, where the heck was I starting from? I was starting from SG area 2D. Okay, so shape set position, and we need to get the position from the shape node, which needs to be its global position. And how do we get a shape's global position? I guess. And how do we relate these shapes to their node types? I wasn't prepared for that either. So we need to do a little bit more bookkeeping here. Or actually no, so that the shape nodes should actually know their underlying internal. Okay, hang on. So we have our shape resources here, and our shape resources, let's look at the header file, know their underlying shape internal object. So we should be able to ask this rectangle to update the underlying shape object, but this rectangle doesn't know its position. It actually won't know its position, scale, or rotation, because that comes from the collision object node, just like normal physics. This descends from SG fixed node 2D also. So, or no, collision object, collision shape node. So this needs to descend from fixed node 2D, but it wasn't. So let's change that. And I guess we need to include that. So include SG fixed node 2D. Okay, so now this thing, SG fixed node 2D, will have a fixed position associated with it, and it's a global fixed position that we care about because its fixed position will depend on its parent's fixed position, just like normal positions in Godot nodes do. So to get that, we need to have our fixed node 2Ds have a way of getting the global position. And do we want this to be like an external facing thing, or do we want an internal facing thing? It being an external thing means that GD scripts can also grab it, which would be good. It being an internal thing means we can do it all in internal objects, which would also be nice for us, because there's less indirection. Indirection is the bane of my existence. That's what makes everything take so long. But I don't know. I think because we want GDScript to do it, and everything else on these objects is using the kind of external versions of the objects, let's do ref sg fixed vector 2. That's the external version of the vector, and we'll do get our fixed global position or global fixed position. Fixed global position. Global fixed position. Global fixed position? I don't know, that kind of sounds better to me than get fixed global position. Get global fixed position. And because I don't want to allow people to update it, we're going to just make it be const. So the existence of positions that we don't want people to update is making me like kind of regret those IAD, kind of methods, because yeah, I guess we're eventually going to have a set global fixed position, right? And so then we can kind of reroute that through. Something's happening in chat. Not crash so we can crash, so we can collide. What is the difference between those? I'm not sure what you're referring to actually, Osman Pro HD. What is the difference between those? What, the two different internal and external objects? I can definitely talk about that. I wonder if, okay, because we just want this for our own internal use right now, let's just make a protected method that's like fixed vector2 get global fixed position. And this will be const. Yeah, I don't care. I think we should have an external version of that, but like, let's just do an internal one right now. For simplicity, for the chance of us actually getting something remotely done here. Okay, and so this will be fixed vector 2 sg fixed node2d get global fixed position const. And what we want this to be is we want it to be the parents. So get, well, so it's possible that this doesn't have a parent. So we need to check for that eventuality here. So and that parent needs to be of the right type. Okay, so there's a couple of things we need to do here. So we need to say node parent. Of course, I have to do the Godot style of that node parent equals get parent. Or no, I guess I don't have to do that right away. Okay, let's do sg fixed node2d, and we'll call this fixed parent equals, we'll do object. No, we want to do a dynamic cast. A dynamic cast, because we don't know the actual type, and we need C++ to figure that out for us. So fixed node2d. Okay, and then we have to say if fixed parent. Oh, Hassan Pro HD is asking what's the difference between the global fixed position and fixed global position. I was just trying to decide what to name the method. Like, what sounds better? Get global fixed position or get fixed global position? I don't even know. I still don't know. And because there's two options that sound sort of okay, I know I'm gonna mess it up later when I'm trying to write code here. Okay, let's get the type correct there. Okay, so we want the global fixed position to be the parent's global fixed position plus our normal position. So we're returning fixed parent, and we need to get their get fixed position, and we need to convert this to the internal type, which I think I gave myself like a helper method to do that. At least I hope I did. I did not. So I will make that right now. So this will not ever be bound, because it can't be, because these internal objects are not Godot objects. They're just like straight up plain old C++ stuff. So fixed vector 2, we'll say get internal const, because it cannot change, and we will return, I think I called it value, and this should probably be inlined. All right, so we can do fixed node2d get position get internal plus our fixed position. Is it a pointer? Yeah, because it's a reference. Okay, get internal. There. So that is the fixed position. And then if we do not have a valid parent, like another fixed node2d as a parent, then we need to return just our plain old position as the global position. So get fixed position, get internal. All right, so that should be enough to calculate our global position in fixed point values, which we are syncing this to the physics engine. Here, the shape position will equal... No, I decided we're not doing it here. I decided we're doing it in the shape itself. So, because the shape knows what it is, it knows what its internal value is. So I guess these shapes also need a sync to physics engine method, which I guess will be a virtual method. So we're just calling on the shapes indiscriminately, and then the individual like shape classes, like the rectangle shape, will know how to sync with its internal version. So I guess we'll put that here, virtual sync to physics engine, and it's void, and it is const. Okay, so this one actually can't implement it, so it's going to be a pure virtual method, and then rectangle will implement it. Rectangle shape 2D. Virtual void sync to physics engine const. And it will live up here, because I'm trying to maintain that same order. SG rectangle shape 2D sync to physics engine const. Okay, and so it knows for a fact that its shape is an SG rectangle 2D internal object. And we need to get all of the right parens here. And so it can, in fact, let's make a temporary variable for this. Say SG rectangle 2D internal. We're going to cast it. We'll say rectangle, or maybe internal, like that. And this is an upcast, so it may complain at me. Shape declared at blah 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 is inaccessible. Why is it inaccessible? I probably made a mistake there. I did, although no, we can call get shape internal. Okay, cool. So, in fact, then we can, I'll just keep that called internal. So, get shape internal. And is it going to complain about the upcast? It is not. What's going on in chat? Also, for the character bouncing on screen, they should a chat bubble, and that bubble have words that the chat are saying. Yeah, so Osman, if you go in Discord and you go into the stream channel and chat there, the actual words will appear in the chat bubble. It's only for people who are on different services, because we can't like validate their role, or who do not have the trusted role on Discord. And I don't know if you have the trusted role. I certainly would have given it to you if I saw you. Let me see if I can find you on Discord. I'll give you the role, and you can get your chat bubbles up on the screen. Are you on the Discord, Osman Pro HD? Well, if you're not, get on the Discord and ping me. Are we showing the right thing in OBS here? Is it the one with the Discord link? Yeah, cool. And they should look like they're walking. By walking, I mean bobbing left and right. The characters look weird on the screen as if they're ice skating. Yeah, so what I want to do is have them sort of like, you know, hop. I don't want to actually animate like their pixels, but yeah. I agree. All of your suggestions are great, and I would love to implement them. Oh my gosh, we are running out of time. Okay. It is already 12:02. The stream officially is supposed to stop at 12. I know we had a late start because OBS crashed and all of that craziness. So let me talk through kind of, I guess, what needs to happen next. And certainly, like on the Discord, I will be, you know, posting updates as I go, like I usually try to. And by, you know, next week, I'll update you on everything that's been done. Hopefully, we'll be in a much better position. But what needs to happen here basically is we need to update these internal physics objects, and then we can finally call like this get overlapping areas method that we're going to make and have this stupid demo do something. Thanks, Aknakos. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I think that's really, you know, hopefully you can see where I'm going with this, you know, updating these internal shapes, and get into collision. I'm really sad we didn't have something actually colliding today. I'm gonna blame the crash. I will blame the crash. An extra 20 minutes like really could make a difference here. It's not my fault, I swear. Anyway, thanks again, everyone. Come hang out on the Discord if you're not already on the Discord, and yeah, I will see you next week. Take care, everyone.